not, it'll just say, you are live. There we go. Hey, everybody, it's me, Mama D. And tonight I decided to do a conversation with friends, my radio show, on the Facebook Live. And my guest tonight is Alex Morgan. He's got an adorable Greek name, which I always crucify, which I shouldn't really because when I was born and raised, was a lot of Greek people were around. So I have a few Greek words, some not so nice, that I can use. But I think it's a beautiful language. Um, Alex is, as you can see, a little ticker underneath. He's a psychic medium, clairvoyant, tarot reader, numerologist, Reiki master, and an all-round hottie.
Oh, you're a darling.
Thank you for agreeing to come on again.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a real pleasure. I got the message from you, and I'm like, oh, it's that time already.
Yes, right. And we have, I don't know if you can, what you can see from your side, but we also have the chat room. We can't answer in the chat room on the computer, like I can't,
Yeah.
because StreamYard doesn't allow, but we can see. So Leo's in. Hey, Leo. So we can see what they say. And if you, I'm trying something new. I'm going to try and share this live as a, no, that's not going to work there, as a watch party on another page. Hey, no, I didn't replace you, George. It's not hump day. I would not hump any other man except for you on Wednesdays. George is my co-host on Wednesdays when I do Getting Over the Hump, which is all good news and fun.
Beautiful. I love that. You gotta have some fun on a Wednesday.
It is seriously. You should see the one where he dressed up as me for Halloween. Oh my god.
Oh wow.
It was it was scary, but it was funny as all. I couldn't talk. I was laughing so hard because he was picking up. Sorry, Mama G was picking up the phone and answering like a sex line. It's just funny. My children were like, "Mom, really? No,
And you're like, ah, no.
no, that wasn't Mama D. That was Mama G. Same
That's
alphabet, different letter." Okay. Anyway, so
hilarious.
tell everybody who don't know you. I'm sure that people will chime in as we go along. We have 8 people watching already. But
Beautiful.
tell
Hello.
everybody who don't know you a little bit about yourself.
So thank you so much for having me on the show. So a little bit about who I am. My name is Alex. I'm a psychic medium, clairvoyant, tarot reader, numerologist. I'm also a Reiki master and teacher. And what I basically think to do is connect to the spirit world, and I'm able to see them, feel them, hear them. I've been doing this ever since I've been a young little whippersnapper. I think that's the word we call whippersnapper. I've been basically been doing being able to see spirit from probably around the age about, we'll say, 4, 5, maybe a little bit earlier. And I never really knew what exactly, the whole spirit world was. And I feel like a lot of people out there, especially Mama D, a lot of people a bit like, is it really something? Is it not something?
Mm-hmm.
You don't quite understand, the whole connection around that until you actually live and have those experiences. And for me, I went on a real search trying to work out what was going on. And I remember, in my life was never easy growing up. And I always tell everyone a little bit about my story because, that's where I came from. And I'm a firm believer that our past is what makes us who we are today.
Mm,
And
yes.
our past is something that will never change, but it makes us this incredible, divine, infinite soul for who we are today. And what I say to everyone, and it's real, I grew up, being a victim to bullying, for 11 years, I went through depression, I went through suicide, I went through the point where it's like, I couldn't live no more, I couldn't have that sustained, not that sustainability, but I just didn't know what I wanted in my life. And, growing up, being victimized for being gay, for being fat, for being this, for being that, everybody didn't have that because society back then, it's like you have to
Right.
be one thing or that one thing only. And believe it or not, but it was actually harder coming out as a young psychic than actually coming out that I was, believe it or not. And for that is because you go tell people that, oh, I'm psychic or I'm this or I see things, do things. A lot of people are like, what the hell? What's going on? And, my psychic journey really began when my grandmother, Glenda, passed away in 2009. So she passed away of bowel and liver cancer. And from that, I went through a real big depressional rut, and I was trying to find meaning to it. I'm trying to find what was going on. And I remember my very first real, we'll call it paranormal or supernatural experience. What we call as residual haunting, which means the residual energy within the home or in the place that spirit can hide enter around that. For me, it was something that, being at my grandmother's house, I actually heard her call out one night. Now, she used to call out and be like, Alex, get me water, or wake up your mother, Deborah, I need help, or I need this, I need that, because her mobility was very restricted, having cancer and arthritis and everything like that. She needed to move, so she had to, basically, you know, go next to a bed that was trying to, basically go to the toilet. And, she used to wake me up because my bedroom was next to her. So I had to walk all the way down to the granny flat, wake mum and dad up and be like, hey, granny needs help, whatever. And I remember one particular night, and this freaked me forever. Probably being about 9, 10 at the time, I never slept in my bedroom again at that house. I had to sleep next to mum with an inflatable bed. It was freaky as hell. And I remember clearly my grandmother screaming out, Alex, get your mum, help me. I'm in pain. I need water. I need to go to the toilet. Help me, help me, help me. Like they kept on replaying, replaying, replaying. Then I walked into my grandmother's room and I'm like, what the hell? There's no one there. And, I'm sitting there crying like, what, you're an idiot? She's passed away. How can that happen? Anyway, the next morning, I got up in the morning, typical Saturday day, and I said to mum, I go, mum, I go, can I talk to you about something? She goes, yeah, Alex, what's up? And I said, mum, I need to talk to you. I said, I seen Gran last night. And she said, Alex, what do you mean you seen Gran last night? And I told her, I said, I basically heard her. I went there, I went in like an idiot, I didn't understand what was going on. And excuse me, and she goes to me, well, believe it or not, Alex, but I seen you walk into that room because I've heard it too. And at the time, I'm like, oh my God, get out. I didn't quite understand that. And so from that moment, small things started to happen, but being young, you don't really recognize it. And it wasn't until the point when I was about 14, 15 at the time where I decided to quit school because, being bullied, everything like that. I wanted to, basically, you know, I just didn't know where I was going. So I became a
Mm-hmm.
qualified chef by trade. So I went in the kitchen, started working, making all the pastas and stuff like that. Man, I love cooking. Anyone knows me, I cook every single day. Yeah, it's amazing. But
Yes.
that wasn't my journey. And for me, I decided to quit. I decided to say, see you later. A friend of mine, said to me, because tarot cards, oracle cards, and, I went through a severe depression then, because trying to find your life, everything like that, friendship
Mm-hmm.
fallouts, whatever. And, I decided to be like, well, this is my only chance. I've said farewell. So I went to that darkest moment and I decided to be like, what, I can't do this no more. And, I won't go into full graphic details, but I remember seeing my grandmother standing right in front of me and I felt everything become loose. And I don't know what happened, but that moment, my depression and everything fell away. It was like, oh my God, I had a second chance on life. And from that moment, I was able to hear things, feel things, communicate things. And I think it was my grandmother who actually saved me. And she was the one who was able to bring that ability or that gift out of me. And so now today I travel all around Australia. I go and do all the big expos here. I do international readings, and I'm able to connect with the amazing Mama D and everybody out there because it's an amazing world. But life reality can be so hard at times. And for me, I'm like you, Mama D, we're the realists. When someone who doesn't take, drama, we just want to live a humble life and help as many people as we can. So, you know, that's me. And now it's like, being this comedian, there's so many spirit stories you can talk about.
It's true. And do you find that people want to put you into a little box? Because I gave you're a psychic medium, you're a clairvoyant, you're a tarot reader, a numerologist, a Reiki master. Do you find that people want to put you into one box? Is that
And
why you have?
Yeah, and that's the thing, for me, a lot of people don't quite understand this gift. And, let's face it, there's a lot of people out there.
Mm.
And particularly recently, I had an incident where I was admitted to hospital last year. And this was a real scary time for me. I was at the kitchen table and I had a cop attack. And, if anyone knows me, I've always got bright colour hair. I've got blue, pink,
Blue.
purple, whatever. Yeah, the blue hair. And literally, I had very strong fluoro blue. That's what my face turned because I couldn't breathe. I didn't have enough oxygen, and I became unconscious. And so I went to hospital. I had blood pressure through the skyrocket. I was nearly into ICU and all that. And we had neurologists come and see us. The brain team and whatever. And they said to me, do you see things, feel things, and and stuff like that. Me being in and out of unconsciousness, like that. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I see them all the time. I'm able to see spirits, feel spirits, whatever. They were going to put me in a psychiatric unit and give me, antipsychotics
Oh
because they
no.
didn't believe what I'd done. And at the time, I realized that, what? There's some people who generally understand it, and there's some people who don't. And I think it's a real thing that, particularly this year, Mama D, I don't know if you realize that there's a big movement of spirituality happening again. And a
Yes.
lot of people are starting to awaken it. Because back in the day, you'd never be like, oh my God, let's go see a psychic medium. Everyone would be,
Mm-mm. Nuh-uh.
oh my God, what the hell is this?
Yeah. No, back in the day, you had that gypsy thing with the,
Yeah,
the guy with the turban, like the little thing in the fortune telling box. The guy with the turban, or the woman all wrinkly, old covered in
crystal
black with a
ball with
glass
rain.
ball. There you go.
Yeah,
See, but you don't look like a crackly old woman with a crystal ball.
yeah,
That should be mine.
that's it. And I think that was the thing because back then a lot of people didn't quite understand what was what.
Well, we've got a comment in the chat room, so I'm going to read them out loud. It's from Leo. He's a friend of mine. I remember growing up, I was. Oh, actually, we can do this little sneaky thing. Whoops, can't see me. I remember growing up, I was able to sense the spirit's feelings of trees, flowers, and various other plant matter in nature. Unfortunately, because of what's going on in the world, it's connection I didn't let grow, but it hurt too much. It hurt too much, but I do still use it to get permission to use harvest and plants for ritual purposes.
Mm.
Mm.
We never, it's very crazy, but we never actually lose our kids. And it's important that everyone's intuitive. Everyone has the ability to see things, feel things. Everyone has that kind of knack around that.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is, it's people shut it off. And, how I describe it to people is, from when we're born to 6 months, we're learning what our fingers are, we're learning what our mouths are, what our teeth are, everything like that. But when we come into the years of, basically, we reach 10 to 16, we're going through puberty, and 16 to 21, we learn about relationships are. We actually shut our intuitive side off. And a lot of people don't actually realize that. But we're always intuitive because we have what we call as gut instincts and premonitions. So
Yep.
I think, I don't know where I'm going now. I really hate to cut into this, but I think Leo has the gift, but I feel like sometimes he off. And it's important to trust that intuition like no tomorrow, because you might get a feeling, be like, what, I don't like that person. As like, oh, it's just me. But deep down, how do you actually know that? That's the question. How do you
Mm.
actually know you don't like that person? There's something about that. Is it your intuition, or is it your own gut feelings talking about that? And it's important, but I think Leo just needs to be Leo and just enjoy the ride and start believing himself with it.
Well, Leo is a very intuitive young man. He's just going through a lot,
Yeah.
and he like you, like me, like everybody else. We have our ups and downs,
Correct.
and I know Leo's going to be fine.
I
But
reckon
I
we'll be
like
fine.
I like the thought that Leo, you still ask permission, because a lot of people don't do that. They think it's silly. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, dude, like people say, oh, I don't eat animals because they're alive. Excuse me, a plant is alive as well. That was taught to me a long time ago. A plant is alive too, because if it wasn't alive, you wouldn't eat it until it was like withered and died on the ground. Then it's dead, and then you're eating. So I was like, ah, okay, that makes sense.
That's it,
you
exactly.
know. So people forget that plants are alive. Plants, they're so you're kind of saying, hey, I need some carrots for my supper or
It's
whatever.
like it's like the shamans, and the shamanic, times
Hmm.
back then. They used to do like the trees, the rituals and stuff like that. They were basically connected to the native lands, and they used to read the energies. They used to do all that.
Yep. No, see here, Leo, if you're still around, Kendra, who is also a medium, a psychic medium, has also said, agreed with me. I like when people agree with me. You're gonna be fine. I won't let you be anything otherwise. I
That's
first met Leo when he was traveling to the UK.
wow.
He's from Canada. He traveled to the UK. The people that were supposed to meet him didn't. So he reached out to a friend who knew me and knew that I sort of talked to everybody everywhere. So I reached out to a friend in the UK and made sure that he was safe. And then he continued on his journey after a couple of days or so. And
Oh, you're good.
he's been a
You're
friend ever since.
so. Now I want to come to Canada one day, but you have to be tough in Australia.
Okay, I send you everywhere. Oh gosh, oh, sorry, readjusting my tuchus. Okay, out of all the things that you do, now
Yep.
some of the questions I'm going to ask you are questions that everybody will ask you, but a lot of people who don't know you are going to
It's
ask them anyway.
inherent.
Okay, will you marry me? No, kidding. Can't do
Well,
that. I'm already married.
let me first.
Well, down Australia, I'm gonna go down. I've heard a lot about the Australian boys. It's sort okay. Quick one in the chat from Scott, friend of mine. I am learning that sharing messages and other things isn't all me. You're welcome, sweetheart. Thanks for you. I didn't see the last part of that. Some people don't realize that when you see a message that pops up into your newsfeed, it might not mean a whole lot to you, but it may mean something to somebody else. Or the person who's getting the message, Scott, doesn't realize the reading of the message that he's getting until somebody else sort of points it out to him. You know?
That's it.
But okay, out of being a psychic medium, a clairvoyant tarot reader, numerologist, Reiki master teacher, what is it you like to do the best?
What is it that I love to do the best? Well, I want to say to you, everybody who knows me, they know me as the psychic medium, and that's because me, doing readings every single day, 24/7 days out of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Not really, but I'm always being in Melbourne, Australia. I'm quite well known with the most amazing psychics out there. So I know there's a beautiful lady called Rita Barbagallo who's just commented down. She's an amazing psychic here in Melbourne as well. She's like my mama. She's always helping me and assisting me every single time. Also, Helen, Harry Jones, and a few other people. But, for me, I really love being a psychic medium because it's something that's really able to showcase and show people that, yes, there is life beyond. And
Mm.
a lot of us, we often close our minds, we often close ourselves and just think to ourselves, you know what, when we die, we just go in a box and that's it. No, there's a world beyond that.
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
world that's able to, go into a whole new universe. And what happens is, I'm a firm believer that we come into this physical human life for a reason. It's about a lesson. It's about a journey. And then when we go into the spirit world, that's us living the completeness of our life because we've done the hard work. And sometimes if we don't do the hard work, we're gonna be reincarnated again and again and again and again to learn the to learn the messages. But the spirit world is something that is so amazing around that. And the thing about a lot of people out there is that I had this conversation with someone and I said to them, you need to realize the spirit world. There is the good side and there's the ugly side to it. Because you need to make sure that you've got clear channels because you never know who you're communicating with, essentially. It is making me noise now. Um, and that's the whole, paradigm around that. But for me, gives people closure and reassurance about what's going on. And particularly, it still shocks me today. I've been doing readings professionally for the last 6 years, or a bit about that now. Really putting myself out there, and it half the time it scares the living daylight out of me what I come up with. What comes through, because when you're in control, it's not you. You just put this big faith to the spirit guides, your angels, whoever you believe in, and you're reading this stranger and you're telling them about their grandfather who passed away in World War II. You're talking about how this person's actually adopted and they never realized, and then they check the records 6 weeks later and go, oh my god, Alex, you're amazing, you told me that I was adopted and rah rah. These things that comes up, you just gotta really trust it. And I've had the most amazing experience out of it, and truly, honestly, I love being a medium. I love doing what I do. But at the end of the day, I always say to people, it's always a blessing and it's a curse. And the reason I say that is because sometimes you don't want to see what's coming up for the ones that you love the most,
Mm.
and sometimes it can be hard. So the reason why I said that is because recently, I went to a family friend's house and they've been really close to me. And the partner or whatever, he's getting old in his life, he's getting on, and I could really tell that I could smell death and I could smell the body decaying and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, and then the family goes, yeah, Alice, is it? And I basically said, yeah. So, you have your blessings, you have your most amazing moments. But I think it's part of life where, you have to go through this journey. You have to go through this. And being a young medium, you're still learning. You're still understanding everything like that. But honestly, being a medium, I love it. It's my most amazing experience that I can have. And even Reiki, if you've learned Reiki or you understand Reiki, I can't even tell you what happens in Reiki. My God, but it's an amazing experience.
Yep.
Again, when doing teachings, I say to people when I teach it, you have to go through this journey because I can't explain what Reiki is. Reiki is truly unique for every different soul out there.
It is. It is. And some people don't get that.
Correct.
We're going to go back to the chat room a little bit. Leo, it's going to be my center of attention, aren't you, Leo? Okay. I still hold a small flame of hope. Things will turn out okay for me. Not as bright as it used to be, but I'm definitely landed in the right job. Beautiful, caring, and empathic bosses. Steps into the right path. But Leo, I do hope that you're reading the comments that continue in the chat room. Friend of Alex's, Rita, she has said, Leo, you don't need a bright light all the time. It's that flicker of light that keeps your path alit. Sometimes we need to lose our path we are on to find the path that's meant for us. You sound like an amazing kitchen witch. Will help. Will you sound like an amazing kitchen witch. Will help you in many. And I think it lost half of
You
it.
have already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kitchen witches, yeah.
Oops. Sorry. Yeah. No, I know what a kitchen witch is, but I thought I was missing part of a line.
Yeah.
I learned the phrase kitchen witch about 5 years ago when I think it was about 5 years ago when somebody said that they were a kitchen witch, and I went, please explain, because I things
Oh, hello.
yeah
I think
I
honestly,
things
Leo is fine. But I think Leo just needs to remove himself from all the drama and all the
hmm
our mind, our worst enemy, and particularly in the psychic world, everything like that. Because what happens if we're reading for people and we put our minds into it? There's no connection there, And if we get a message, our mind's like, oh no, 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 this ain't real, this ain't real, this ain't real. And
yeah
two minds like, yes, I want to bring through the message. Each other. You gotta stay grounded, you gotta stay content. But I think Leo will make a change. He just, I think it's just a matter of putting self first and just realizing that you have, instead of letting the emotions creep up within you. And, Arita's right. I feel like, there's definitely a very strong connection, you don't always need to be a bright light. Sometimes we have to let reality hit us in order for us to make us stronger at the end of the day. Because
yes
if we're all this divine being 24/7, 24/7, it's great, but it can also be hard on our own self because sometimes reality needs to hit us. I hate to say that, but it's true.
okay I'm just gonna, if anybody's putting up little heart, because I finally connected on to our show with my phone. If anybody's putting up little hearts and faces and stuff like, we can't see it here on our well, I can't see it on my main screen. I can see it. I can see them now in the chat room. I learned new things about this, even though I've been using this platform for a while. Um, okay. I have noticed that a lot of people, this is my way of thinking, a lot of people separate everything, psychic, clairvoyant, because it's easier for others to understand. You know, because I have to admit, when I just first started out, restarted out on my path, I always wanted to know, okay, what are you, a psychic, a medium? You know, and I didn't understand the differences between it. But now that I'm like 100 years down the path, which is probably another half a dozen or so, um, I consider myself a healer.
Yeah,
Because whether you're counseling somebody, whether you're giving them a psychic reading, whether you're giving them a mediumship reading, Reiki, whatever it is you're doing, you're healing a part of them. Whether it's the physical, the mental, the emotional, there's always some form of healing involved. So to me, each one of us is a healer, just at different levels.
100%, and that's true. You know, we can all be X, Y, and Z, but at the end of the day, how you said it, all comes down to the same vocabulary.
Yes.
And you know, being a psychic medium, you know, I am healing people because you're giving people that guidance, that message of hope, or that ability for them to transform their own lives. Because a lot of people, and I hate to say this, a lot of people would rather see a psychic than actually going to see a psychologist or counselor these days, or see some sort of alternative methods.
Yeah.
You know, there's pros and cons in everything, but I know a lot of my clients generally would rather come see a healer or do Reiki and stuff like that because people understand, people get you, and I think it's important that us as healers and empaths and stuff like that, it's we can all be the most amazing healers, but it's just a matter of that yes, some of us may have more from right now. Oh, old. I think some of us have got more stronger perceptions than others. So, for example, one could be more clairvoyant than the other, or one might be more focusing on Reiki than reading
Mm-hmm.
tarot or whatever. But at the end of the day, everyone works with in the same ways, but we're all different channels and we're all different people. So it all comes down to the same vocabulary, really.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's fun when people come to see, like you said, people are more likely to go see a psychic medium than a psychologist, because going to a therapist or a psychiatrist or whatever, it's got this like, that person's a little crazy, you know. But if you go to a psychic medium and you say, and they help you out, or a count, for me, I
Yeah,
call myself in many respects as a counselor, because I haven't figured out how to
exactly.
stop
Yeah,
talking and charging people. But
yeah, even
people, it's a lot easier to say, I went over and I had a chat with Alex, and he drew his cards, and he, rather than, and because it's like a barmaid or a bartender, people still talk to you even though they don't expect you to give all the answers.
yeah.
It's somebody to listen to them. And we, as healers, as psychics, as whatever the heck we are, um, we help out with what we get from spirit and what we have from our own knowledge.
Mm.
So I think, yeah, I agree with you. People need to, okay, people need to come see your psychic more than they see your
Right,
therapist.
and that's the thing
We
because
don't charge as much, damn it. Sorry.
no, because that's the thing. I remember when I first started to really connect to the spirit world, and I remember my first time seeing a counselor. It was hilarious because the reason for that is I went there and she's like, yeah, like, you need to start, was going about bullying and she's in my head in and everything like that, and she's basically blaming me. Anyway, I ended up reading her about her relationship problems. I ended up reading her about, her dramas and her chaoticness and all that. And so there was me giving her the counseling session rather than counseling me. And I'm like, well, there was a reason for it. But, I think a lot of people these days, they want to find something a bit more heart to heart and soul
Hmm.
to soul. And I think, not saying that, our mental health facilities, they are amazing, There's
Yes.
some really amazing people out there. Even psychics and stuff like that. Like I work closely with counselors and psychologists because at the end of the day, what I give, I can only give so much, and if they need the extra assistance, then it's a referral system. But I think it's good to always have that second, that option to go see someone because I'll tell you now, it's always good to hear a stranger's opinion with what's going on.
It is. Now, something that for some reason just popped into my head.
Yeah,
There were some. Let's see here. Hey, did
hashtag
you know what today? By the way, everybody, today is Kiss at Ginger Day, so y'all need to kiss me. I have to find out these good things. Um, if I remember correctly from our very first interview, you
yeah.
were the youngest psychic medium
Well, I
ever
don't know if it's young, but
at the time. At
at
the
the time,
time. Now you're just like an old fart. Do you encourage and mentor young psychic mediums?
100%. So, excuse me. So I started doing readings when I was about 16, 17. Putting myself
Mm-hmm.
out. Now I'm 20 years of age, and I'm getting a bit old. Still young in the whole psychic field. Nearly 20, nearly 21 in August. But I have
Legal
seen.
worldwide. Yippee!
Well, I'm legal in Australia, but not legal over there. In
Well, no,
America.
you're legal in Canada.
Oh yes, I'm Paris.
Right.
We'll go to the witches then.
There we go. We'll find one.
Witches. But no, I basically, I've seen a lot of young, psychics out there, and particularly
Mm-hmm.
during things because a lot of us, with children as well, they don't quite understand what they're feeling half the time or seeing, and it can
Yeah.
be very scary, particularly, I've got a family friend of mine, her name's Courtney, right? So Angela Chavarella, who's a very good friend of mine, she was a client of mine, and she's also I taught her Reiki, everything like that. Her daughter, correct me if I'm wrong, she's gonna hit me on the head. She's about 6 or 7, and she goes to me, Alex, can we go see the dead people? And I'm like, what do you mean? Can we go see the dead people? Because I'm going to see my grandmother at the cemetery. She's like, can we go see the dead people at the cemetery? And she'll go see the dead people. She'll go, hi, hi, how are you? She'll chat to them. She'll chat with all her
Mm-hmm.
friends, everything like that, jump around, and she'll be like, Alex, they're over here, and she'll go play chasey with them and everything like that. And then we'll have a big chat about everything, and it's just truly amazing to see that. And I encourage her, and I encourage all other young mediums. I done a mentorship for this young male. I think his name was Andrew, and he was 12 years of age, and he came to see me because his mum said, right, he's got 50 million questions about what's going on, because
Uh-huh.
he's things at night, particularly this shadow person that, won't go away. And he just stare at the corner of it's there at him in the corner of his room, just look at him while he slept. And after doing research and all of that, and then tuning in, it was actually his grandfather, who was always watching him at night. And during that time, Andrew was able to read. He picked up the tarot decks, and next minute I'm sitting here like, oh my god, here's my deck. I retire already because
There we go. Yeah.
children are very switched on. But I hate to say it, it's the parents these
Yep.
days that be like,
Agreed.
I can't do this
No. Agreed. Agreed.
because it's not real.
Because I think if it's a parent like you or I,
Yeah,
okay, okay, I have to be honest. It took me a long time to get back to where I am now because I
yeah,
used to be very open back in the day, you know.
that,
But then my daughter came to me and shared with me her connection to spirit, and then
mm,
after she was done, she kind of said, "Mom, now you can lock me up in a rubber room," and it just took me a couple of seconds, and out of my mouth, without even thinking, I said, "If I do that, I'll be there in the room next to you." So
wow.
that was the day I reopened to spirit, you know. And but I was never the family that I grew up in. They weren't strict or anything. We were Catholic. I was a little altar girl, not a very good one. Ring the
Well,
bells
I was
before they
born
rang
raised
out.
Catholic as well.
I know, but it depends on the parent whether they're open enough to under to. They don't have to understand. They don't have to believe, but at least be open enough to allow your child to because I work in the public, and I remember one time there was a young mother with her young child, and she was walking around, and the little girl was talking with her friend and holding her hand, but there was nobody physically there. There's no physically there. And the
yeah,
mother just said, you're in public. You shouldn't do that with your. I was like, why not? I said, if she sees somebody you don't, doesn't mean that that person's not there. I
mm,
go back to the old saying, you can't see the wind, but it's there because you can feel it.
correct.
It helps you to breathe because it's air, right? And she's like, yeah, but you don't think she's. No, I think she's special. She's got a gift that maybe you or I can't see. It doesn't mean that they're not there, you
Yeah,
know. So and she was like, okay, fine. And then I never saw her again after that. But you know, maybe she thought there was a crazy cashier behind the cash. But people have to be open enough, and I love watching those parents that are open enough to allow their children to follow that path, to
yeah,
experiment along that path. They keep an eye on them, but it's like it's like I sit there and I go, yes, I have nothing to do with it, but it's just the idea that spirit is getting through whether we like it or not.
100%.
You know.
And I'm kind of jealous because I wish that I was a child, because okay, I won't wish. We're always a child, no matter what. We're never gonna grow up.
Yeah, those are your boys.
But the reason why I say that is because children, they have got this wicked imagination,
Yeah.
and they're just so innocent when it comes to their life. They don't know much about life. They don't know much about how real it can be when you got to pay bills. You got to pay this, and the relationship dramas that a lot of us unfold. They're in their own little world where it's like I can see spirits. I can have my imaginary friends. I can get a crayon and draw these pictures, and people are like, hang on, what's that? And it's like, oh, it's me and my friends and an imaginary friend, or it's me and the spirits or whatever. And I think
Mm.
it's a real important that, particularly more and more young scientists and young children that are going to start to really be coming through within this new age development. And I think it's kind of special because, I think we're in big changes around the world. And I think, what we all need right now is some hope, particularly with everything that's going on. And, I know firstly here in Australia, which is close to my heart, we've got the big giant bushfire epidemic that's
That's bad.
happening here, which
Mm.
a lot of people are losing lives and stuff like that. And, I had people message me and going, Alex, are we going to be safe? Are we going to find, people feeding and, asking questions? And, it's hard. And, I think a lot of people need that hope and that, belief that, no matter what happens, there's always, people who are going to support you. And there's always, that thing where you can just, get into meditations and we can just retreat and just be that type of, person that, can raise their
Right.
vibrations because we all need that inspiration. And I think children these days, I feel like instead of being on social media and stuff like that, I reckon there's going to be a very big epidemic of we'll call them witches, young witches and psychics coming through. So I think Hogwarts witchcraft and wizardry is going to be fully open soon.
Oh, that'd be fun. I belong to a group. It's called the 1 Million Meditators. It's on Facebook. They're
Yeah.
hoping that I believe by the end of this year they want to be have 1 million meditators, and like it's if they figure if everybody can get together and
Mm-hmm.
and positive with positive energies, focus on the earth and the
Mm-hmm.
children. That is the best thing for our species, as far as I'm concerned, because without the children, there's no future. Without the earth, there will be no place for the children to be. So positive energies, everybody has to keep focusing on. Don't get me wrong. I understand there's negative stuff that goes on, but we have to find the positive in it. As much as you guys are losing so much with Australia, you're also finding that there are people that are helping out that never would have helped out before.
100%. But I think, being in the 22 years, for 2020 years, numerology and Rita knows numerology as well. Here is also a master number. So it's a year of awakening, it's a year of triumphs, divisions and decisions, separations and endings. But it's also a time for unity, for people coming together. And you
Mm-hmm.
can find that, during these natural disasters, I believe you've got, who was it? You've got like Pink, all those celebrity stars who are raising, donating millions of dollars to help, the bushfire affected people. Recently, we've had, the royal family going through their separations as well. So a lot of things are happening this year, which is going to be trying. But it's all about, us coming together and find that unity to really speak up and make a change. And I think it's important that, no matter how hard life is, where, you're going through grief, you're going through, depression, whatever, it's always important to know that there is help no matter what. Sometimes you just got to ask for it, or sometimes you just got to allow it to be. And whoever's meant to be is meant to be.
Exactly. And no matter what you go through in life, what we go through in life, my childhood was a good childhood, like most people are. But there
Yeah,
we have our ups and our downs. But I think, um, yeah, I'll share it. If you message me, I'll share it to you. Um, the negative stuff that we go through, as hard as it is, like Leo, I know you've been through a lot, and you might still go through a lot more. But everything that you learn during that journey, you will be able to turn around and help somebody else out in their journey because you've actually lived through the experiences.
100%.
But some people don't get it. It's like, why me? And it's
Mm.
like, we all do that. I mean, I've done it myself. Why me? Like, I can remember my first big thing when I was a kid. Why did I have to have red curly hair? Now it's like, you couldn't shave my head because I had to kick you,
Like
kick your
a
butt.
young girl, Annie, the movie.
Yeah, well, trust me. And it's worse in Quebec, okay? They have Fifi Brindasi. It's like Pippi Longstockings, but Brindasi is scrubbing steel wool.
Oh,
And I was
but
like, I didn't want to be that. It's like, okay, a little steel wool head. No, thank you. Rusty steel wool. It's like, oh, sure.
no, but
You
it's
know.
true. I think a lot of us, we have to go through these experiences. And
Mm-hmm.
as you're saying that, I remember recently, I was doing a reading. I've read for hundreds of people. I don't know, probably thousands by now. I don't know how many. I read every all the time, so I've lost track of how many that I've read for. And I had this one lady come see me. She goes,
Bye,
"What would
Leo.
you do? Bye, Lego. Have a good one. All the best." You know, I had this one lady come see me and she goes, "What would you know at 20 years of age? How can you be a psychic at 20 years of age? What could you possibly tell me that no one else knows? And what life experience have you had?" And I'm like, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta, sit down and just try it out,
Mm-hmm.
before you judge, because you never know. You could be as like again, children. Hello, they could be 6, 7, 2, but hey, some of the stuff they tell you, it's like, oh my god.
Uh huh. Uh
Like,
huh.
for example, Courtney, who I mentioned about going to the cemetery and all that, right? She goes to me, I'm like, "So, what do you think about this person? No, they're not good for you. Don't get in a relationship." I'm like, okay, you're 6, what would you know? You fall in a relationship? No, it wasn't good for you. But sometimes you need people's opinions, and it can be some of the biggest things, in life. But I think, if there's a message from someone, there's a message from someone.
Yeah. Because you don't know where the messages will come from. You know,
That's it.
you can go. We can go to a psychic. We can go to a meeting. We can go to whatever. But you know what? You might walk into the grocery store and bump into a woman, and this woman will just sort of say something. Not because she's a psychic medium, but just there's something that she says, right?
Yeah.
Because we all know that the universe makes us do things and say things that sometimes we don't understand why we do
Mm,
it. So you could get a message from, the lady you bump into at the grocery store, or while you're pumping your gas, there's somebody who pumps your gas for you. They lean in and say something to you that makes a change. It
100%.
and it doesn't take a whole lot.
That's it. It's a crazy little world we live in.
It is, and I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it.
100%.
Um, you believe in past lives.
Past lives, I actually do.
Just
I
live
have,
today. Okay.
sorry.
Um, did you ever have a past life reading or do a past life regression?
So a friend of mine here in Australia, Melbourne, he does past life regressions and hypnotherapy. His name is Charles, and he's been doing it for God knows how long, right? Like a hypnosis. I've never had one done before. That's always been on my bucket list to actually get one. But I have done a meditation, and I've had a few people tell me that I was actually a witch in the past life. No kidding. Where I've done a meditation, I actually see myself burnt on the stake, and I could feel it because I was the type of person who held onto this book called the book of truth or whatever, or this wisdom. And it's like one day that got exposed, and for me, I was the type of person when I was younger. I always held on to the truth, always held on to this, and I'd always be the one who'd be very honest and whatever. And I see myself get beheaded and burned to the stake, and I'm like, oh, hello. And then I'd done a spirit guide drawing, which was up behind me, which has got like a Native Americans, with
I
dragons and
saw
my
it while you every so
yeah,
often I'll be like, "Oh, okay."
and the owl, and then I've got this little Asian guy. His name's Oshi with a dragon and stuff like that. So I haven't really encountered much in that, but it's always been something that I've wanted to really have a look. But past lives are very they're very real because you start to find you come into this lifetime, but hang on, you got these OCD habits, or you're always being the kitchen cleaner. Why? Because we were a slave in the past, or what? Things do happen from past lifetimes and you bring it into now.
Very true.
Have you had
The reason I
experience?
asked was because I had one once. I had a regression done once, and before I did it, I was like, yeah, I'm open minded, but I still have that skeptical side, which is very good for everybody to have that skeptical side, but
What
still
do
be
you have?
open to it,
Mm,
and don't be worried that it's that people are going to think you're weird because, like, as far as I'm concerned, I don't give a flying frogs behind what other people think about me because I like me.
that's
I
it.
used to
I am
worry. I
who I
used
am.
to worry.
Yeah, I am who I am. If you don't like me, there's the door. See you later.
Exactly. Don't let the door hit you or the good door split you. But it, but I after the reading, what she had told me, what the woman had told me, kind of sort of made sense. It was sort of like the glue that brought the pieces. Like the pieces were all out. I had seen things like one of the things that she said was, I wasn't a Native American, but I was kidnapped by the Native Americans to be the plaything of the princess of the
Wow.
tribe, whatever. And I was like, yeah, okay, because most people go, well, you were a Native. Everybody has some form of Native American in them somewhere, some way, and I get it. But this was a different thing, and it made the different things that went along with this reading sort of made my things fit into place. The reason I did things, the way I did things, the music I enjoyed, the music that just sort of made me go, oh, you know.
Mm.
But it's an interesting thing, and that's something I want to look more into, finding out. Not doing it. I have enough pots in the oven and stirs and whatever the heck it is. I'm like a cat. I see something shiny and I'll go, okay, let's see what's over
And
there.
I think that's when we first discover our spiritual journey, it's like we walk into the very first crystal shop and, seeing psychics and all that. It's like, oh my God, we're like a kid in a candy store. It's like we
Mm-hmm.
can't get our hands off this, and it's like, oh my God, we want this, we want this, we want that. Still, I think today, if I go see a psychic, if I see a psychic reading, I'll be the first one in line, like, yep, I'm down for it. Why? Because I
Yeah.
just want to have fun. I want to explore it. And I think
Yeah,
it's
because
important.
everybody reads differently.
Correct. And that was,
Even with the same cards. You might
yeah,
read and see this thing in it, and I might see something, but it's the same daggone card. It's just everybody's vision of something is different.
exactly. And that was like me when I first started reading. I never had a mentor. I never had anyone to, be like, right, this is how you read tarot. This is how you do that. I learned tarot myself, and the only thing that I really had classes was I'm sorry was numerology, which Rita Barbagallo taught me, Reiki and chakra balancing. That was the only thing I was really taught.
Mm-hmm.
Tarot. I got my very first deck of tarot, and believe it or not, I was scared of it because I was scared of the devil cards, I was scared of the death cards, and I was scared of the hangman. And I'm like, "Ugh, okay, and you pull up the death card, you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. Then you pull up
Yeah,
the
I know.
devil card, devils around me. But the thing is, people put so much fear onto these
Mm-hmm.
things. And it's like I don't know where I'm going with this or whatever, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to mock religion and stuff like that because religion is a big part for everyone. But it was like when she had a very big epidemic about going from this to that, there was a whole big change around that. And I understand why people do what they do, but I think at the end of the day, once you explore and you understand true meanings behind things,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you can be able to really understand what it means. And for me, I started reading tarot and I started looking at it. I'm like, oh, I use my intuition. And to me, being clairvoyant, which is that seeing, you're able to see things and you're able to, in your mind's eye, put pictures and imagery together. For example, if I pulled out, I don't know, a tarot card, for example, which is, Six of Wands, I can tell, it's victory and everything like that. But I look at the imagery and I'd be able to read the images rather
Yeah.
than what the meeting was. And that
Yeah.
was important for me. And when I do markets and expos and all that, people go to me, how do you read? Do you do spreads? Do you do this? I'm like, no, I don't do nothing like that. I do it my way. And I've had a lot of people say to me, you can't do it, you can't do this. I'm like, what's the free world, honey? I can
Yeah.
do whatever I want to do. So I
Exactly.
think it's that thing because a lot of us have our own natural ability for
Yep.
the intuitive sides, but it's just a matter of practicing, understanding it, and doing it for yourself, and you get it.
Yep. Agreed. 100%.
Mm.
The chat room quickly. Um, people would love. J.M. Smith, a new friend of mine, said he would love to have. He believes in past lives, and he would love to have a reading done. That's something I got to find somebody who does past life readings, but that's also a bit of a question I have as well. Um, Michelle Mead was once told she was an Egyptian in a past life, which made she realize why she loves it so much. I guess you're connected to the
Wow, I love
Egyptian thing.
it. That
Yeah.
was the other thing I was good at in high school. We studied ancient Egypt, and I was so obsessed with the mummies and all that. And I don't know if you can see, but I've got a tattoo of the ankle. Oh, that's really bad.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see it. And I got an A+ for that. I'm like, oh my god! But I was
There you
so
go.
fascinated by the mummification and the afterlife, and the gods and goddesses and stuff like
Hmm.
that. I'm like, hang on, is this real?
Yeah. And everybody does differently. Here's a quick one. Kendra, I met her because one of the Facebook groups that I belong to, she put up for hair readings. And I was like, hair readings?
Ooh,
And she read my hair. She all she wanted was a picture of me like now, and so she could see there. And dude, she was really spot on with the people that she had in my life, the things that were going on in my life at that moment in time. So
oh my
hair readings was really really wild. She was really cool. You
god,
should
I'm
connect
so
with Kendra. She's funny. She does Facebook Live. We'll just have to give you some more.
Raise my hand right now. Tell me what it is. It's been
There
brown with
you
it.
go. It's a look Sonic the Hedgehog, my darling.
And I think that's the thing because hair is that we can read anything. It doesn't matter if it's bones, back in the day, bones, rocks, tarot cards, hair, even touching someone or mobile objects, psychology. It's all part of an energy, and we
Yeah,
can read anything no matter what. Everything's a
right.
form of divination.
Exactly. Um, and people are amazed at what they can read and what they can't read. So,
Correct. But reading hair is different.
exactly. Everything is different. From a bowl of water depends on who holds it and how you hold it depends on what you see. People don't get that sometimes. They're like, well, how come, Alex does it this way? Why don't you do this? Because Alex, A, is a boy. Alex is from Australia. Alex is, there's a whole bunch of different reasons why Alex does it his way and a whole bunch of different reasons why I do. What does it make a difference why I do it? If you've come to me to learn something, for me to share what I share, then cool. But if you don't like what I have to say, that's fine too. Go see Alex. Maybe he's cuter than I am. I don't know.
Please. I want to say to you, you're rocking it right now. You're not old.
Hee hee.
Your soul's
In
just like
both.
600 years old.
Sorry, what was that?
I said your soul's like 600 years old.
Oh, I know that. When people ask me how old am I, I go, which part of me? My body is 58. My mind, depending on the time of day,
Yeah.
depending who I'm talking to, and then my soul is another age altogether. J.M. Smith, in both my past lives, I was a young boy who died at the age of 8 or, or 0. And crazy thing, I have scars where both the boys were killed. Interesting. I don't think he meant 0. I think probably meant
I'm
10.
a
That's
very
interesting.
that birthmarks are from past lives as well.
What do freckles mean?
No, I'm actually
Souls that I have stolen.
I'm actually quite a freckly person. Like, when I was born, I'm like, oh, freckles here and freckles there. I'm like, there's freckles everywhere.
My dad, love him to death. used to say that because I'm a redhead, right, stay out of the sun. But in the summer, when my arms would get burnt, my little red
Yeah.
freckles turned to brown spots. My father, sweet man that he was, would say, I stood behind the screen door when somebody shot a bucket of shit. That's why they were brown spots. I said, Daddy, you know. Or he actually convinced me once that if I took an SOS pad, I could scratch, wash them off. Oh
Oh,
yeah, he was so mad.
it's
He
so.
never sees me after that because I tried it. I was like,
Oh, you gotta love your parents, even though
oh, I
they
love
make
them.
you laugh.
Both my parents have crossed over, and both my parents have come to visit me. Not too often, thankfully, because I'd be in big trouble.
But that's the thing. Oh my God, are they always around? Are they there? They're always around you no matter what. Whether or not you see
Yeah.
them, it's just having that belief. And I'll tell you, Mama D, they're always around you. Your dad,
Oh, I know.
your father was like a comedian. I swear. His practical jokes, everything about him. It's like he's very fun, that man. I'll tell you. But he always had a reason for everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's without a
But,
doubt.
right, no sugarcoating it.
No, I know. I know they're with me. I know that they would not have understood who I am now when they were alive. But because they're
Yeah.
no longer alive and they can see it from a different angle, they were like, okay.
They're like, yeah, she's crazy than what we thought.
Yeah, but we love her anyway. Look at her. She's so cute. I said, oh gosh. But
Oh, love you. Hey, Mama, I got a question for you.
shoot.
All right, you probably don't get questions asked. You're probably the one hosting the show. But I've got the
I
questions
don't
for
care.
you. All
This
right.
is a conversation with friends. I don't get. There's no such thing as a host and no host.
God love it. Have you ever had like a paranormal experience or like
I
objects
have. I
move?
kind of sort of say no, but you know, I have a lot of friends on Facebook who are paranormal investigators. I have never been on an investigation, but I
Oh my God,
watched
yes,
a live.
you do.
Sorry.
You have to do them. I do them. My God, they are freaking hell.
Oh, I know. I know. I've my co-host on getting over the hump Wednesday. George has made me promise that I will, even if it's just investigating my own space.
But not
And
only
I
that, you
said
know
I
how Canada and America, you guys have got a lot of history.
yeah. I know. And like I said, I want to, but where I am, there's not a whole lot of. I don't drive except for driving people crazy, which I'm really good at. you know. So the access for me to get to where I want to go, excuse me, is
Yeah.
not there. I know I will eventually get to do it, and but I have a lot of people. I had a couple of friends who do lives from 101 Cafe. It's in Winchester, Mass. I'm not sure where it is. It's 101 Cafe, and they do live investigations from there. It used to be a speakeasy in the basement, and it's an amazing, amazing place. The woman who bought it has sort of brought it back to life the way it was.
Isn't there like a Winchester Hotel or something?
I think it has
That's
something to do with that. I always get them mixed up. I'm really I
yeah.
don't live there, so I'm like, okay, I'm Canadian. What can I say? Blame it on the Canadian border exchange. But
I agree.
they were doing a live investigation, and I connected to spirit through through watching it on Facebook. And I would be like, I'm messaging the wife of the team that I'm going, is this? She's like, yep. And so they want to do one sometime this year where I connect to it. And I was like, okay, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I remember, my very first time ever going into a paranormal tour. I went to a place here in Melbourne called Pentridge, and Pentridge D Division, and it was an actual jail. And I went there to D Division where they had have some of the big name murderers and all that type of stuff.
hmm
And there was this guy, his name was Eddie Leonsky, and he was an American soldier who came to Australia, and he was known as the Brown Out Strangler. So he basically kill his people, and breathe their dying air because apparently the devil said to him he was so obsessed with the devil and demons and whatever. Anyway, in his jail cell, he actually drew a real life pentagram, and at night, the prisoners used to complain to the guards, you know, can you tell that female to stop, moaning and stop talking like that? And the prisoners be like, there's no female here. I mean, sorry, the prison officers. Then they're like, yeah, in that cell. So the prison officer went over, and it was Eddie, but he was talking in a female voice all the time. And
Wow.
because obviously, when you're in that mind, whatever. So I had a look, and I went in there, and oh my god, I would see shadows. I'd get all these bizarre feelings. It was crazy to the point that I walked out with scratches and stuff like that. And I'm like, I can't do this. Then I went and stayed at Jaywood Mental Asylum here in Ararat, which is about 4 hour drive from my place, and it housed the criminally insane, the mentally insane. And it was the very first place where they had the very first HIV patients. They had what they do. They had this electroconvulsive shock therapy. They had all that type of
What's
stuff.
happening to my hair?
And we had the K2 meters and everything like that. Everything you think Ghost Adventures we had. I've even got the equipment here at home. So I'll sit here at home and I'll put all the equipment on and I'll ask questions. And, oh my God, it's crazy what comes through. But I remember one day, and it scared the living daylights out of me. I actually seen, I don't know if it was a demon or a devil or whatever you believe in, but I actually seen these red eyes with this black and red, this figure, and I swear to God, these red eyes, they were distinct that you could see them from a mile away, and we're in the
Mm-hmm.
chapel, and it said "Demon, get out," which was the voice thing said it. And at the time, we know I was basically a tour guest and all that, and I was a special guest. I said to everyone, right, we need to leave, we need to get out of here now. So we moved from that part. And then we had rocks thrown at us, we've had, we've seen glass break, we've seen a lot of things. So there's the good, there's the bad and the ugly side. But me as a Mexican, I wanted to put myself in that environment purely so I know what's out there. Because if I haven't done the work, if I haven't done the experience, then I can't tell people, what's out there.
Yeah,
And a lot of people, they want to know, life beyond death, and I think it's important to say that yes, there is the good, the bad, but whatever you believe in, that's what you believe in. But
exactly.
some of the things you can see, like it's crazy. I have people here at my home here. We have lights turned on, we have cupboards banging, we have footsteps, everything like that. Our house is active, nothing scary, nothing demonic or anything like that. But I just sit here, hi, how are you, whatever. I still get scared shitless, and I'll run to my mum and be like,
Oh
Mum,
yes.
please.
Oh, yeah. And that's the funny thing. A lot of people think that, well, because he's a psychic medium, everything is like an old hat. Every time we give a message, every time you pass a message along, it's like you said earlier, it's like sometimes this is things you wouldn't normally say. But because Spirit is making you tell this message or asking you to tell this message, you have to. As a paranormal investigator, I know quite a few big burly dudes, who, like shit their pants, excuse the language there. But because they get touched for the first time, they be like, okay, go ahead, touch me. And then, shoo, scream like a girl and run. Dude, it's going to happen. You just have to be open to it and accept it. Like I said, I do eventually hope to do one. I plan on doing one. I do want to get one done in 2020. That's on my goal. That's on my
When it makes
2020 list. But no, people just again, it's a matter of keeping your mind open to the things that are out there and not like I said, you've been doing it for like 100 million years. You've been a psychic medium, and people go, "Oh, he'll always get it right." Not because you get it right all the time. It's just because people accept it. But you do have days where it's like, I have no idea, and it's like,
yeah,
why can't he? He's been doing it for because we have days where. Do you have days where you have a headache? Yes. And there are days where you don't? No. So why do you not have? Why do you have headaches those days? Don't know. So that's what.
that's the thing. People don't realize that we all live in normal
Yes.
humanity of life,
Exactly. We all got to go
and
potty.
that's it. Some days, you have more of a connection than others, and some days you'll be like, oh yeah, well that was more, emotional than what it was. But the thing is, I'm a firm believer. If you come in with, your guards up and like, oh, what is this person gonna tell me? Rah, 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 you're not gonna get the most amazing reading. You're not gonna get the most amazing connection because, I say to people, be open minded because you never know what's going to truly happen. And I've had days where it's like, you know what, I can't read, I can't do this because they're closed off. And I've had times where I'll literally go out in public and, I've learned not to do this. But when I first started, I used to be like, Mum, I've got a grandfather here, I've got the father here, I've got this, I've got that. I remember the one time I nearly got arrested by the police, because when you go to the bank, you can't quite hand things over and pay
Yeah,
for all
no.
that.
That'd be
I went
funny.
to I went to the teller one day, and Jules was a friend. Like, oh my god, I need to write down a piece of paper and tell her what's going on, what's this, that, that. And it's like you can't quite hand them a piece of paper and be like, hey,
No,
I'm
that's
yeah,
okay.
well,
Give
he
me
said
all your money.
that's it, you know. So it's something like you have to learn, when to turn it on,
Yeah.
when to switch it off, whatever. But for me, I can never turn it off. It's always going to be there. But you just acknowledge it and you're like, all right, thanks for the message. I'll pass on when I can, or if it's meant to be. And
Yeah.
that's the but it's an amazing experience. I don't wish to change it. I don't regret my past. I don't regret anything because at the end of the day, it's made me who I am.
Exactly.
I'm a strong believer. I love everything about life now. But sometimes we have to go through the darkest hour, the
Hmm.
darkest moments to really come out and pull our heads down and be like, you know what? Yeah, I went through that shit. Yeah, it was tough, but I am who I am today because this is who I am.
Yep. Exactly. And you are able to go back to, we'll use the bullying as the example, at everything that you went through as being bullied, you can talk to a person now about it. And you can, and some people go like, how can you tell me something that like, I think that's one of the things about psychologists, we're going to go in psychiatrists, is that how can you tell people what to do when you've never been through this, you
Correct.
know? And a psychic and somebody who's a counselor, like for me anyway, I will counsel people on things that I know of. If I don't understand it, I'm going to say, okay, this is just my opinion. Okay, this is what I think you should do. But if you've been through it, like if you've been, I mean, hello, I had red hair, so I was teased as a child, right? Horrendously, and it was a red curly afro, so it was really teased. But I can
Oh,
relate to when people get teased, you know, and we learn from it, so because we have no choice.
that's
What doesn't kill us makes us stronger.
100%. There's always a lesson. There's always a blessing in everything we do.
Exactly. Well, my darling, we are actually 7 minutes over time, but that's what's fun. I don't have a boss. It didn't go so fast. My
That
boss,
was
my boss is in the back of my head going, Starlene. It's like, shut up.
now, the thing is, we could chat for hours and hours and hours and hours.
And I think this is what Facebook needs,
Yeah,
because we have so many things out there on Facebook that are, like there's so much negative going on out there. There's so much stress and ugh, going out there. So that when somebody can come along and catch something that's fun, that's informative, and it's not going to make you cry on it for a bad reason, then that's great.
correct.
I can make you cry, but it will be because I'll make you laugh with tears.
That's
That's
it.
just
We
who
all
I am.
need some positive, uplifting things to join in. Instead of going on Facebook like, oh, and this happened today and that happened. And, oh my god, my fridge is not working. Hashtag mental breakdown. It's like, oh please.
I've never seen that one, but I like that hashtag though. I'll use
Yeah,
it one day. Just put it in there. I do that sometimes. I just put things, one word, in a Facebook and just watch what happens. It's fun.
exactly.
It's like fun. Like you just put in a big pair of lips on Facebook, and then people, oh, I love you too, kiss, 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 or something silly.
It's gorgeous. So my mum did it since my mum and Dave for Mama Bear. Oh God bless.
Aw, bye, bye, Mama Bear.
Now, thank you so much for having me on the show. It has been amazing as usual. Um, I don't know. What you do is amazing. You've got to keep doing it no matter what.
Oh, you can't stop me. Nobody can shut me up. They've tried. And
Well,
that's why I do what I do, is because I've always been a talker. People have always been drawn to me to talk, and I always make people say things they don't always want to say, but they end up saying it anyway.
oh, if anyone knows me, they can't shut me up. Once I talk, I talk.
Well, that's
It,
why I say, if you're going to do a show, if you want to have a show, and even it's just simple as Facebook Live, use this platform, StreamYard. Like I said, it's a free thing. Anybody can do it. It's amazing. It's fun.
mm,
You have fun with it.
well, that's it. Well, I'm thinking of doing more shows very soon, so you never know what's going to happen.
There you
It's
go.
when
There you go.
big things are going to be coming out very soon for
It's
all
going
of
to be
us.
an interesting 2020. Gonna watch you closely.
The whole new decade. But no, thank you, Mama G, for having me on the show. Much love and blessings.
And I will see you soon. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Next week we have the one of the Triple J threats. Joe Kudo will be my guest. Lord help me, am I in trouble there? And I will see you very soon. You behave yourself.
Thank you. Mwah. Bye, everyone.